it taught me to trust my intuition and to do things for me, not to please others. Don't be a people pleaser. Like, do things for you. That's the lesson I got from that. So, but it didn't really come through until like later on, after I had done the work and started to explore. Now, in retrospect, I see that, but I didn't see that at the time.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, and Cosmic, feel free to go ahead. I got another follow-up question, but Cosmic, if you want to jump in here.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. I think that's beautiful, and it's good for people to see because it helps others have the courage to also feel and heal. And I love how you kind of talked about like the labyrinth of the soul and how when you go into the path and it just teaches you so much. Also, I wondered what your thoughts are on perhaps that when you were at one of your lowest moments, the appearance of, the Christ consciousness that came to you was, what do you think about that being like the divine masculine that you needed to experience because you'd had these masculine experiences that were betraying and not honest or nurturing, and you needed to experience that side of like who you are and what's available. What do you think about the divine masculine connecting to your experience there?
Yeah, no, I think that's such a beautiful way to put it, Cosmic. Thank you for putting it that way. And it's fascinating because even right now, like, it's almost as though like you're unlocking keys for me too, right? So it's definitely that. Like, we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energies within us. But when those energies are suppressed, they tend to lean towards another direction. And what that Christ consciousness provided for me was it gave me simply that, my divine masculine. It allowed me to have my voice. It was very nurturing, very educating, and it was very gentle. It was very gentle, and it was like kind of guided it was like self-guided, at my own pace that I was ready for. And it allowed me to be a confident being with who I am and speak my truth and not just like walk this, straight and narrow path. Like, I'm a rule breaker, but a good rule breaker, right? Like, I'm not going to just buy into everything. And it taught me that I don't need to just be a people pleaser and be agreeable to everything. Instead, it taught me that I have a voice and that I have, self-worth, right? So it definitely guided me to balancing out the divine masculine within.
Yeah, and one more thing, the gift that was sent to you was a male cat, right?
Yes.
And that's another male healer. So when you were seeking out for healing, you had these two powerful divine masculine experiences. And I am totally a cat person. I have like 6 cats. So I love that Creator sent you a cat.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. So that's actually really cool. That makes so much sense now. Like, it just kind of happened out of nowhere. So that's awesome. I love that. Like, learning that.
Yeah, and we'll probably open it up for questions here shortly. I just wanted to ask this, for people who might be interested. Like, they're listening to this and they're like, that sounds cool. Like, y'all want some of that. Like, what do you recommend people do to dip their toes in the water to get started? Like, concrete things they can do. Like, what do you recommend?
So I do recommend, so a lot of how spirit connects us, if you had to think about it from this perspective, if there is one unified language, if you are a higher being, how would you connect with a 3-dimensional being, right? And the answer to that is it's telepathy, it's intuition. When intuition changes the frequencies of your body, right? So I would challenge you to listen to self-regular frequencies. Our brains have, chemicals. It's energy. Our whole body is a system of energy. Everything that you're looking at right now in this very moment has energy within it. So I would challenge you to listen to self-regular frequencies to kind of activate that. And then just kind of journal and just allow your mind to roll. Like if you need guided meditation, try that too. Try guided meditation so you can at least kick it off to where you can start to allow yourself to see. Nature is very healing. Nature is very healing. And being barefoot in nature so you can ground. Being grounded within the spirit is so important, because if you're not grounded within the spirit, you're going to end up in a place of fear. And we're not given a spirit of fear, right? So it's so important to make sure that we're grounded as we elevate.
I love that. And that's the other thing I love about grounding is that you earth barefoot on your soul. The sole of your feet connects to the soul of your being.
It does. The earth has so many natural frequencies or ley lines, and it's fascinating because all of the ancient wonders of the world are aligned directly on the same degree to ley lines, yet they're separated by language, time, land, culture. They're separated by all these different, man-made things, right? But they're united because it felt like the right area. They trusted their gut instinct on where that intuition led them, and then somehow or another, ironically enough, they were all aligned, which is it's fascinating, really. And the other thing I want to say really quick to kind of add to that, and it's a little bit off subject, but I feel like it's important. You're going to get a lot of information in spirit, and a lot of times you'll start to kind of go in between logic and spirit, and so you can easily go down a rabbit hole. So you have to kind of trust where it feels good. Like when you're getting the right message, it's a sense of calm or excitement, right? It's like the good to the high. It's never like confusing. If it's confusing, then it's not meant for you, and you just kind of release that, and then it'll make sense later.
Yeah, we can change it up a little bit, and then I guess we'll start getting some requests for people to come up, so people want to start.
Yeah, great answer. Other guys, you got anything? Because I want to change the topic a little bit.
Yeah, we could change it up a little bit, and then I guess we'll start getting some requests for people to come up. So people want to start asking questions, we could do that soon. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, Lauren, I see you've changed your profile picture, and I'm curious about those laser eyes. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, if you want to share your experience with that too.
I can do that. You first.
All right, cool. So yeah, sure. So what I saw in spirit was this. And to kind of add some context, I'm going to go back to December. So December, I was shown the Mayans. I was shown the Mayan disc, and I was shown that there was a tilt in the Earth's axis, which prevented the Mayan prophecy of December 12th, 2012 from the right timeline. And what the shift did from an atmospheric level, and it's crazy because I looked it up later and it was accurate. I was like, holy shit, it's crazy, right? So what that did was it prevented the Mayan timeline. It put them off by 10 years. So what that means is that would have put it back to December 12th, 2021. Now, if you actually read the Mayan prophecy, which I did after I had this vision, it says that, the way that they explain it, because they only have the language that they're in, they can only meet them as far as they're at, that it was going to be more of like this enlightening period, right? Whereas, the doomsday apocalypse theory is like, oh, it's going to be this terrible thing, right? It's going to be all doom and gloom, and it's not that at all. So then I was like, okay, well, if it's off by 10 years, that means that like things are going to start to happen, right? Fast forward to January 5th, I had this vivid vision of a volcano exploding that caused a massive tsunami, and it was going to go, it's going to be in the Ring of Fire, and it was going to go towards one of the islands in the Ring of Fire. So immediately I thought of my friend Mike, who lives in Hawaii, and so I texted him. I said, Mike, I just had this vision. There's going to be this massive like tornado that's going to go off and it's going to send a tsunami. And I drew a map. Like I literally drew him a map and like sent it to him of where it was going to be. Like I screenshot it, a picture of like the world map, and I put a big red arrow of where it was going to take place. 10 days later, Tonga happened. And where my arrow was is exactly where Tonga is, which is exactly where the tsunami hit. So I was like, oh shit, all right, here we are. So then I started to kind of connect the dots, and I had another vision that there was this higher power of elites that were, and just so you guys know, like I live in unwavering faith, meaning I don't really apply a lot of logic too much. I just follow my intuition, and it has always led me to the right place. And so I didn't really know too much about anything, really. So I saw this vision of a higher power that was manipulating the people of the world, and that the financial towers were going to crumble. And as a result, there was going to be almost like a revolt. There was going to be a 10,000-man march from Florida up to north of Maine into Canada. I have it written out. I wrote it out in September, and I have screenshots showing that it was, I have screenshots that I took of it back in September with date and timestamp showing that it happened way before the Canadian trucker thing. To me, that's the 10,000-man march, right? So all these things are happening within the world that are aligning to this timeline. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So what I foresee, what I saw was that Bitcoin was it was the one way to unite the people and remove the power from the world's elitist. Because what happens is the financial towers crumble in the U.S., and then on top of that, there's going to be other tornadoes and weather events that take place close to the Ring of Fire. And it's also, I saw a massive glacier the size of Texas melting, which increased the what do you call it? The Earth's or the ocean. Like increased the water in the ocean or something and made it rise. And so from it rising, it did something to, like I saw like this like belt thing within the ocean that kind of just stops. And when it stops, it interferes with the weather and it causes flooding over on the east coast of like the U.S. area and other areas. And then it also, you know, on the other side of the world, the opposite side, because it mirrors, the alternating sides mirror kind of, it causes more, you know, tsunamis and weather events take place on the west coast. And I saw this massive like dust bowl come in towards the, or like a dust storm come in towards the Great Plains states. And when this happens, the people are just, at this point, they're just so fed up, but they're so upset with how the government has handled things that they revolt in a sense, and they just get really upset because they're not getting relief that they need, and decisions aren't made on time, and so the people start to rise. And what I see is that there's two ways that it can happen. The first way is that there's weapons, and people are storing up weapons and all these things, and they're like in a sense of fear, and so they attack to take back this world. The other way is with Bitcoin and with uniting and being smart about it, staying in the valley of the storm. We're not supposed to have weapons, because when you have weapons, you put a weapon in your child's hand with one hand behind their back. I had this very emotional vision of being in a house with my children and other children, and the government was coming for us, and or like these soldiers were coming for us, and so we taught them how to use weapons, and as a result of that, we were tricked. So we were like sitting ducks. We were sitting in this house, and we knew they were coming, and we knew that they knew that we were there, and so the kids were really courageous, and they took up these weapons, and what we didn't know was that there was a hidden door somewhere where these people were sitting, and they came out and they just started like shooting everywhere. And the kids were courageous, but when all the gun smoke stopped and stuff, there was 3 children left. and that had made it. And I was told that 2 of the children were alive and 1 had passed away. And I was told that 2 of the children were mine. So the person that had put like a blanket over them lifts the blanket, and I saw my older daughter, and she was alive. She made it. I saw a little boy. He was alive. He made it. And then I saw my baby. She didn't make it. And this vision was like, so I like wouldn't even read it. I always document my visions when I have them, but this one, it was hard. I hadn't read it actually until today for the first time in a long time. And Jesus said to me, he said, Lauren, you have a choice with this. He said, you guys can unite with love, or you can put weapons in the hands of children. How could she have made it with one hand tied behind her back? And that was like such a powerful moment for me, because it made so much sense in the grand scheme of things, because we all act in anger. We get frustrated and we're just so mad. But again, that anger is out of fear, out of the world. But Bitcoin is above the world. I saw Jesus and I saw Bitcoin. He said it's the way of the world, but only if uniting. It's to teach people what it is, and not in a confusing manner, but in a way that makes sense to people. People don't understand what it is. They think that, oh, I've already, this ship has sailed, but it hasn't. And what I saw was that with using that, it completely, it almost like flips the, it doesn't entire, how do I explain? It takes the power away from the elitist, and it divides up the land. It divides it up amongst the people in a manner that allows us to be self-sustaining, and to have equal resources. And it's no longer this transactional thing. It's more of a community type of thing. And that's what he showed me. When he showed me that, that's when I got my laser eyes.
Yeah, great answer. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, artisans, how are you? Do you have any questions or comments?
Oh, wow. Yeah, actually I do. Thank you, Lauren, for saying that. There was quite a few things that are right along the same lines of the visions and such that I myself have gotten. And I think when we look at it, whether it be Bitcoin or anything else, the thing that I think we can hold on to is that this construct that is in a pyramid form, very few at the top and many at the bottom, and the many at the bottom are usually the ones that are not fed, and there's not a whole lot of money, so on and so forth. All as I can say is that what has been hidden, the way the world has been, its intrigue, all of these things are going to be put a light upon. And the way that society and the hierarchy has been constructed for eons will now be dismantled and reformatted. And what I have been being shown is that of more of a circle instead of a triangle, where we are encompassing of that ring where there's no beginning, no end, and yet everyone is at an equal partnership, and it is that of unifying and working together. The one thing I can say, and I've been in many different groups and many different things on these spaces, and for the most part, across the entire world, people are really looking and seeking for understanding, whether it's understanding someone else's culture or a belief system. And this is where this unifying seed thought, I think, is really starting to take hold. There's energy influencing laws that are influencing us now, which is that of understanding other people, understanding ourselves, who we are as spiritual beings that are powerful creators, and we can manifest these things, and there are solutions that we can work towards for a peaceful resolution. And so it's like, I mean, when you were saying this and I was listening to, everyone else up here on the panel, and it's like I stand in solidarity and unison with you guys, and we're all saying the same thing, perhaps a little differently, but we are all saying the same thing. So I send my love, I send my light in the healing and the mechanisms for it, because it is that intuition. It is understanding it and that trust. So it's like, kudos, everybody. Thank you. Kudos.
Thank you so much for saying that. You are amazing, Artesian. I kind of like just the ring that we see, you guys, like to add to that, it's the ring of fire. The ring of fire, for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, is spiritual protection. We have a spiritual protection within a ring of fire, uniting us into a unified language where we're all saying the same thing in the words that make sense. So when we're in these spaces and people say things that may trigger, just remember, we're all here for the same reason. We're all here for this mission right now in this time period, in this time. The more that we unite, yeah. And it's funny you say the thing about, a pyramid, because I actually had a vision with a citizen earlier today where he saw this cup pouring into the top. And the cup was kind of flowing down into these other cups that were in the pyramid below it. And it took so long for the top of the cup to fill in the cups below it that there wasn't much left, which kind of ties into the thing that you were saying. So it's I think it's really important that we share insight and kind of meet people where they're at and put it in the best way that we can, put it into words that are easily digestible, that make sense, and we put ourselves in other people's shoes. No one is better than anybody, and we all have access to this intuition and these gifts. So I think it's really important that we unite as one entire nation. It doesn't matter the creed or religion or where we live. Like, none of that matters. What matters is that we unite under the power, not under a spirit of fear, but of power and love.
Absolutely. And the point being is that it's that part of each and every one of us, our gifts, our talents, some sing, some speak, some write. The point is that we have that power within us, and that power of healing. The human body was designed to heal, and so is everything else. And I think it's that point where once we start removing dominion from our idealisms, that this is where we'll step into really giving that credence to another human being and saying, I value what you say. I may not agree with it, but I value it and I honor you, because this is the vision that we all see.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think I've talked about this in several spaces. You make me think of, Artesian. So there's a certain immune diseases, right? They start off, and what's interesting about these types of immune-mediated diseases is they all start out. The one thing that connects all of these diseases is that they all start out with stress. Stress is triggered from thought. They all start off from thought. So if instead of attaching ourselves to a limiting belief or a subconscious belief, if we were to alter that thought, acknowledge it and then release it, and then change the thought, right? So instead of saying, I'm sick, I feel like crap, so you know what? I am so happy and grateful that I get to be here in this experience, or anything. Because what we attach ourselves to, that subconscious beliefs, that is what we manifest. So if we're sitting here and accepting stress, right? That stress starts to manifest within our bodies, and that's what creates sickness. and these different types of diseases. And we do have the ability to heal. We have the ability to heal our bodies. You know, when we're kids, we get a scrape on our knee. We go to our parents, or we bandage it up really quick, and we just don't even think about it, and then it just heals itself. Our mind has the ability to do that with everything now. We just have to just release the subconscious or the conscious attachment of negativity that we tend to attach to.
Eventually, the higher vibrational or a higher octave is going to come in, and people will start recognizing that it truly comes down to permissions. Like when we're looking at an illness, for instance, we unconsciously or subconsciously have given permission for it to take up house in residence, like an unwelcome house guest. So the idea is to remove the permissions. Again, we have that ability, the coping mechanisms, and we can choose healing. The idea is to remove the permission that it exists in the first place within our own body. So that is something that I come to the table with within healing modalities. This is something that I formate with my own personal students. But the idea is when we take a look at it, does that not come down to accountability? And sometimes people don't really care to hear in some of these mechanisms because it challenges that. And I think until we reduce that fear to take a look at ourselves and what an active role that we play in our own lives, and then take that accountability and go, hey, you're right. This is the good news, bad news situation. I get to direct in which way I'd like it to go. So I'm going to leave it there, but it comes down to permissions, and that would be the next higher octave for people to seek and look at and work with.
So we got Brian up here, has his hands up. What's up, Brian?
Hi, everyone. So I was hoping to try and fire a few off rapid fire, if Lauren is okay with that. She did a reading for me the other day, and I tried to kind of follow up on one end of it and kind of hit a dead end. So I think maybe my question might have been a silly question. So maybe I could ask a different question, a simple, I guess, yes or no, is, am I meant to be here, like here in the United States, now? Like now is in February.
What, Brian? And when you were saying that, I just saw one letter pop in my head, and the letter that I saw was S.
S. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to just note that because I have no idea what S could be other than south.
Don't apply logic. Don't apply logic to it. So I think the other day, Brian.
Well, no, that's my gut instinct. My gut instinct says I know what that means. So okay. Then let's. Am I meant to be developing this genetic resonance theory like myself, or working with other people?
You are meant to sow seeds.
Okay. I understand that. Sow seeds. The flooding, can you tell when it's going to happen?
So as far as everything that I saw, and again, you guys, this is not something.
No, sorry. What I mean is the flooding that's yet to come. The flooding that we haven't seen the beginning of yet.
So to that, I would say that the flood, there's as above, so below, right? So the flooding has already started. The veil has been lifted.
Yeah.
So the flooding is happening. And as the flooding continues to happen above, we will start to continue to see the flooding below. And it's bringing, when the flood happens, when it clears out, it brings things to surface, right? So
right, and there's a feedback loop with the glaciers and everything. Yeah, that we've had it all reversed all along.
Right.
Just like virus nonsense. Yeah. So the last thing was, I guess, it related to more recent scriptures that would otherwise be canon is the U.S. like the homeland, like Jerusalem?
So for that, I would say the U.S. is on the world stage, almost like on a projector. And so the U.S. almost, from what I'm seeing, it's like it kind of lights a fire with other countries, but we're no better than any other country. We just, the thought process with the elites is that, but it's not, we're all the same, we're all one, right? So the U.S., because it already has that world stage and everyone has their part, it's just kind of like the television of certain, that kind of triggers reactions. But as the financial towers start to crumble, it's going to take us out from like being in that center, which is where a lot of people think that the U.S. is, and it's going to start to unite us, nation to nation.
So, Lauren, do you think that maybe you would be able to do some readings for people and kind of display like how you're helping people?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So if anybody wants to come up, we could do that. Besides that, Ron, Cosmic, Artisans, Brian, you guys have any more questions?
No, it was just one tiny last thing. I think that the source is telling me that that it's not coincidental that things are named like Alexandria, and like that we have other places named Jerusalem. That it's definitely aligned to a ley line network of sorts.
Can I just interject here because, she came across and said a major thing with an S for you. And she says, don't look at it logically, but think about it. Sowing seeds, scripture, south, spirit, oh my, S. You gotta be able, you gotta feel the resonance with it is all I gotta tell you. So the first thing you thought of was south, but what I saw was flaming spirituality and so on and so forth, and sowing seeds. So go for it.
Oh my! Oh, thank you. Wow, thank you, Shadowfox.
So we got Sandra up here. Hi, Sandra.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I would love it. Lauren could give me a reading.
How's it going, Sandra?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I'm just gonna just talk with you for a minute.
Okay.
So Sandra, so the first thing that I just saw right now, I saw a blue bird, and then I saw a man. It was a little bit older, white hair, had this gold bracelet. Very sweet man.
Gold bracelet. The gold bracelet does not ring a bell, but I do. Well,
So when I said the man, what's the first thing that popped in your mind? He's an older gentleman. He's got a very, very sweet personality. He's just very gentle.
I would say grandpa.
Okay.
But he never wore a gold bracelet. That's what threw me.
That's okay. Well, that'll probably circulate for something.
Yeah.
So grandpa.
When you were doing your story, I had the similar experiences with my children's father. So it just made my heart jump for you.
Oh, thank you. It's fascinating, right? Because we all hold keys, and so we'll piggyback off of eeach other.
Oh, it was just amazing. I just never talked to anybody that had the same kind of experience.
Well, then you were meant to be here, right?
Yeah.
So your grandfather, I'm seeing like a green tractor. I don't know what that means, but I'm seeing like a green tractor, and I'm seeing that he used to and I see like batter, like cooking batter. Like there's like batter in this bowl.
Lord, I don't know. I mean, the man that I was just speaking of, he died in 2000, the kid's dad. But yeah, we had a tractor. And
Okay. So that tells me that he's actually coming through. So if you had a tractor, and the grandfather, so what I want you to do, because I can kind of feel like a little bit of anxiousness, so I would like for you to just kind of take a deep breath, breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 8. And I just want to remind you that this is a safe space. And if you weren't here in the beginning, I always ask Holy Spirit to use me as an instrument to light the path for others. So with that, I would ask you, if you're open to it in your mind, to just ask Holy Spirit to come through me or to come through you in a way that resonates and makes sense with clarity and unconditional love for your highest good.
Yes, I ask that.
Okay. What's the red flag? What's the red flag for you? You have a red, I see like a red flag. Let me think here. Okay. So you experienced something recently that was just like, you're just really, that just felt really off. Like, I mean, like really recently.
Oh, like dinner?
What's that?
I did have a red flag at dinner today.
What do you mean? What do you mean you had a red flag at dinner?
Well, we went to dinner with my kids and my grandkids because my granddaughter turned 11. She'll be 11 on Tuesday, but we did dinner today because it's Sunday. And when I left, I don't know, I just got really, I don't know, like a wall hit me. And I thought that was really odd. I don't know what took place. I don't know what caused it, but I mean, I was with my family. So it just was very strange.
What I'm seeing here is that something was brought up at dinner that you wanted to speak on, but you were trying to be polite and you didn't want to speak on it because you didn't want to like something that like was just kind of like on your heart almost, that you wanted to bring up, and that's intuition. But you and I see it might be towards like do you have a son?
Yes, I do.
Okay, was he at dinner?
No, he lives in Tucson. I'm in Pine Top.
Okay. But I'm seeing that something like you wanted to ask about something at dinner, but you didn't do it.
Yeah, that happens a lot because it's my family, my children. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. They think I'm crazy, so.
Well, you're not crazy. So I think that, to me, that tells me that you're kind of holding back your voice out of fear of reaction, or just kind of being agreeable to, because in your mind you worry that, you don't want to push anybody away because you love them so much and they're always going to love you, and you need to know that. But your voice is important. You're very wise and you're very intuitive. And you're picking up on things that are meant to be said. And so you felt the red flag, you felt that block because you kind of limited yourself based off of that fear, right? So it kind of ties into what we were talking about tonight. So I encourage you to trust that you do have something to offer. Trust that you have something to offer, and speak up with love. Because when you speak up with love and not out of like you have a very gentle spirit. You too, you're very gentle. And you need to know you come across as gentle. I think sometimes you fear based off of something that happened in the past that people are going to react, but they're not.
Oh, they call me brash.
But you've learned. You've walked the path. So don't be afraid to use your voice. Just make sure that you're using your voice with love, so that you are not subconsciously binding yourself. If that makes sense.
Okay, I think I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to offend people, but they take it so not the way I mean it.
Right. Yeah. I see like you kind of get these like racing thoughts. You get these racing thoughts, and like you have something to say, but you get these racing thoughts, and what I recommend is that
I kind of foresee how it's going to end, so I don't say anything.
So you're manifesting a negative reality into your present by not saying it, but then you fear a negative reality, essentially, right? You fear that, and so instead of you allow that fear to dictate your actions, and as a result, you're suppressing them.
Okay. And
then you almost get like these, like it feels heavy in your chest. It feels like you almost like you can't breathe sometimes.
Yes.
Okay. So in order for you to have your air, you can't suppress that. You have to. You can say things with a lens of love, and you say it with love because those are your children or to whomever. So let's say that somebody says something that triggers you, right? I take a moment, take a breath, and try to uncover what's their underlying fear. Why do they think that, right? What is the subconscious fear that they're projecting out right now? And then respond. Because once you identify the subconscious fear of why they're reacting with their anger or with their emotion, then you know the right way to approach it.
I think that's what holds me back a lot because, one of my daughters is a Scorpio. I have 5 children, 9 grandkids, and she's, I don't know if I want to use the word negative. I mean, she's grown a lot, but she's so always defensive and everything. She always feels like I'm attacking her when I say anything, and it's totally opposite. But that's why I don't talk a lot.
Well, maybe it's meeting her where she's at, right? So if she's responding in that way, maybe ask instead of you telling her, ask her questions.
Okay.
If she's feeling a certain way, well, ask her. Say, okay, well, what do you think is causing that? So that you're empowering her to uncover her own truth. And as you empower her to uncover her truth, because she's used to you as a mom sharing the things that you have to say, but this way you're also allowing that air to come out and not suppressing it, and you're feeling good because you're helping her to uncover the truth in her situation, and then she feels good because she's applying critical thinking skills, right?
Yeah.
And then she's gonna breathe, and then you're gonna breathe, and she's gonna have the answers, and then you're gonna feel a sense of relief because you guided her through that.
That makes a lot more sense. I haven't done that. Now back to the tractor and this gentleman. I honestly don't know if it would be my grandpa.
It's your grandpa.
Oh, okay.
That's what I feel. Yeah, he. I feel as though he's kind of like a guide for you in a sense. Like he looks over you. Did you used to like make like these like brownie things or something, or like bring them brownies or some type of like dessert thing?
I always made him desserts.
Okay. Yeah. So,
because he was diabetic and Grandma would get mad, so I always sneak him one.
Oh, okay. That's what that is. So yeah, that's why I saw like the cake batter. Like, so that's funny. Yeah. So he's just popping in to say hi, and just letting you know that he's there, and he loves you.
Oh, thank you. Now, can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
I don't mean to take up everybody's time. I'm sorry. What is my next step? What is my mission?
Okay. So what I see you standing in the middle of a circle, and then I see like the 4 points coming out of the circle, almost like a north, south, east, or west. And you're looking to walk out you're like, okay, what path do I take? Do I go north? Do I go south? Do I go east? Do I go west? And you're looking for all of these answers outside. But what you should do is you should turn within. And what I mean by that is when you are able to kind of have those moments with your intuition where you allow yourself to speak, right? You kind of have that sense of relief in your spirit, that pull, and it kind of just gives you that confirmation and confidence that, hey, that thought that I had is I was right, in a sense, right? So it's kind of like that type of pull. So tell me, like, what is the whole thing with you and gardening?
I love to garden.
You love to garden. They say to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow.
Oh, I do. I can't wait for them to grow. I can't wait till spring.
So how can your mission, I feel, is to help things grow. So I challenge you to not just look at that from a linear perspective or a three-dimensional perspective. So how can you help people grow with a lens of love?
I've been trying hard on that with my grandkids because they're a little more open.
And how can you do that for yourself, right? So I ask you this: when is the last time you've done something for yourself?
Oh. I bought a ring the other day.
You what?
I bought me a ring the other day.
Okay, good. So that's something tangible. Now I want you to take that same process and do something for yourself within whatever you're drawn to. Whatever you're drawn to. If it catches your eye, you're drawn to it.
This is true, right?
Yes. So if something catches your eye, go for it. Don't hold back. Don't resist. You have like a 5 seconds before your mind starts to self-sabotage.
Right.
So when you're drawn to it, go after it.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Thank you very, very much. I would love to talk with you more, but I don't want to take up everybody's time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Lauren, and thanks for joining, Sandra. So next we got, Artisans had her hand up, and then I would like to get to Nicole. So Artisans, did you have something to say or question?
No, that's okay. I was going to add something to what Lauren was saying, but that's okay. Go for it.
Please do.
Well, let's let whoever else was going to come up and say something.
Okay.
So Nicole, did you want a reading, or do you have a question or comment?
Hi. So I came into the space because I follow Artisan, and also, where'd he go? He was here. He's no longer here. But I found them in a really cool spiritual chat. I think it was last week. And so to come into another one and kind of like get chills as soon as I came in, because of what Lauren was saying, it's really, really cool to be here. And I'm so grateful again that I found something like this tonight. I'm just doing my taxes out of all things. Not very interesting, but it's unfortunately part of the human. Oh God, I don't even know. Anyways, but this is itching my need for spirituality. So I really appreciate it. And I would love to have a reading with Lauren, and maybe on like a more personal platform. I'm pretty much an open book at this point, but I was amazed at how she was channeling. So I'm just going to listen, and thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I actually, when you started talking, Nicole, your energy is very bright. I actually just got a lot picking up off of you. If you want to side table that, we can. If you want to.
Thank you so much for saying that. It's so impressive. I've always been amazed by people that can do this and have this ability. If there's anything that you picked up from me that you feel could benefit or help anyone else that you would like to say, absolutely, I would love that. That's amazing. And anything else that is not as much of benefit to everyone else, we can share personally, and I would love to immerse or compensate you in any way, because it really means a lot. So
I don't charge people for readings anymore, because I consciously feel that it's wrong, because I feel like I'm meant to just help people. So for me, when I read people, I just kind of go into a flow state. So it's hard for me. I don't apply logic to it. I just let it flow. So I don't have a way of separating the two, if it's solely just meant for you or meant for the collective. So if, it sounds like you may, have a little bit of just resistance of what may come. And just know that everything I do is with unconditional love and light, and with everything.
Okay. I'm open. I didn't want to I guess it's such a gift. So I just wanted to make sure you felt compensated and valued, and if it's something that would go on for it's your time and your expertise. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to see. With that, I would say see your value, your worth first. See your value, see your worth, and know that you are worth my time. Next thing that I saw was that I saw a man. He had dark hair. Feels like it was some type of partner at some point, and there was a lot of there was a lot of hurt and pain that happened with this situation, and it kind of helped you, or not helped you really. It's going to help you, so it's funny I would say that first. I have so many goosebumps with this, but so this man, he really affected your spirit. He really made you feel crazy at times, like he gaslighted you. He made you feel as though you were wrong. He made you lose your sense of worth. And so what I want to tell you is that you have this unbelievable energy and spirit about you. Unbelievable. And your light is so bright. He tried to take your power. And the one thing that you kind of let him do was you gave him permission to take your power within your own mind, right? So let me ask you a question, Nicole. So far, is this resonating? I'm not looking, I can't really see.
Yes.
Okay.
No, absolutely. And it's just funny that this is coming up because, oh God, I want nothing more than to just close the chapter, you know, with him. And I can't seem to escape him. And it's just, he keeps coming back into my life. But you know, it's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead with what you're saying. And thank you for
yeah.
so far.
Yeah, of course. So what I'm seeing with that is like, this is what it sounds like to me, and I'm just going to be honest. And what I'm seeing, it's like almost like you have a sense of duality. So it's like you see life with him, and then you see life without him. The life with him, I see like your chest kind of clenches up a little bit, but then it also has this really pretty picture that you painted, and to me that says it's like you have this vision of this pretty picture, but you've attached that pretty picture to this person. And it's a sense of fear, you know, because it's like you invest so much into a person, and then you kind of feel like, what the hell? Like I invested all this time and effort into this person, and you know, I thought that I was going to have this certain life. Like we attached to a person, but there's free will, right? If there's resistance there, it has nothing to do with you, Nicole. You are beautiful, absolutely beautiful, inside and out. And there is someone that is meant for you. And it's great because it's almost like we have very parallel situations here. It's with you, it's like stepping into your divine masculine energy and seeing your value, like that goddess energy, right? So your instinct knows, your gut knows, and sometimes it's terrifying to follow that gut, to follow that instinct, because of, you know, the fear of the unknown, right? We're afraid to walk down a certain path that we don't know when we have attached ourselves to this certain scenario, this level of comfort, our comfort zone. We've stayed within our comfort zone. And we've attached ourselves to people, places, things that you know, we thought were for us. The truth of the matter is that it was for us at one point to learn. To me, it sounds like you're learning your value. You're learning your worth. You're learning to use your voice. You're learning that you are worth my time. You are worth my time. And the more that you alter that subconscious belief, the existing belief that you have of your value, the more you're going to see that, man, I dodged a bullet. Man, I really dodged this bullet because this motherfucker had me, sorry for cussing, but I'm channeling my inner bum, right? Sorry, Bitcoin bum, what's up, girl? I missed you. But yeah, so you're like, this dude had me thinking that, you know, I'm unvaluable. But the truth of the matter is that he had so much resistance within him. He had so much darkness that he was holding within his spirit that binded him, that his only way to handle that energy was to cast it out upon you. You cast it out upon you, but you were never meant for that. Follow the light, follow the love, follow the glory, the glittery feeling, Nicole, and your life is going to rapidly expand right before you. And do it fearlessly, because you're worth it. You are worth it.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Can I just interject something very quickly?
Yeah, just please make it quick because we do have a lot of people waiting. We have Paige, LTR, and other people requesting. So yeah, thanks.
I will make it very quick. Nicole, the one thing I can share with you is that was that razor's edge that you went to. And when you went there, the lesson in and of itself is how strong and the strength and the courage that you do have. And so it's that aspect. This is the energy that he brought to you, and you own it. Step forward with it with courage, strength, and endurance.
Thank you both. Wow.
Hey, Avogades. Can
Yes.
I actually, this has like been on my heart for like an hour. So like I have to like say something to Bum.
Go ahead.
All right, Bum, you there, girl?
Yeah, first. Yeah.
Okay. So I had a vision. Citizen had a vision too earlier, actually, where we saw you. You were, or Citizen had it actually. This is Citizen's vision. Yeah, I don't think that we knew what it meant at the time, but I've realized over the past hour or so that it makes complete sense. And so we saw that there. You ever seen like at a wedding or something? There's all those glasses. They're stacked up like a pyramid.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're that top glass, right? You start the pour, and you're pouring, 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 and you're pouring. And then it's like you're pouring into all of these glasses. You're pouring into all of these glasses, and what you're pouring, Bum, is absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and you bring so much light to this world and to so many people, and you unite people. You're the top of that pyramid, and I just want you to know that what I saw was that source is pouring into you, and your glass is ever flowing. Your glass will never ever go empty again. And I really needed you to know that.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren. So we got Paige next. How's it going, Paige?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Lauren, thank you so much for sharing your story. And it's been such a delight having you, hearing you speak in all of the spaces the last few weeks or so. One of the things that I really like is how you work with the Holy Spirit, because that differentiates you automatically from a lot of other practitioners, spiritual practitioners. And what's really interesting was that when you said earlier about how with Christians and the Bible, they're against psychics, right? They're against all of these tools that are somewhat useful, and another thing that they forget is the gift of prophecy. And I think that's ultimately what you have, and the gift of wisdom. You possess all of these qualities, and it's so beautiful and it's so important. And so just thank you so much for sharing your gifts and doing what God has called you to do. But I have a lot that I'd like to speak with you privately. So I'd just like to book some time with you. And I'm curious as to what you see and what you discuss with. So I'll send you a DM and then we can go from there, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. And Paige, I do want to thank you so much for saying that and acknowledging that, because I am human, and I do have a sense of a small seed of fear sometimes with speaking about, in public spaces at least, when it comes to Holy Spirit, because my mission is to help people find their light, and it's all through Him, right? But I have a fear that people will disengage from that because they've attached that like negative connotation around what He is. And for me, it's more important to spread the message of self-love than my path of where it was found, right? But I just want to thank you so much for acknowledging that, because they, from what He showed me, envision is that there's many ways into spirit, right? There's so many ways to get into there. But with him, I've never felt scared. I've never seen dark things, right? And actually, I have seen a dark thing twice, actually, now that I think about it, but I didn't have any fear around it because he was with me. He was with me every step of the way, and so I didn't have a spirit of fear with it. Whereas if I had not known that, and I did not have on that armor, then I would have been absolutely terrified, and it probably would have scared me shitless away from spirit and helping people. So I really want to thank you so much for saying that in this space. That meant so much to me, Paige. I'd be more than happy to work with you. And also, I want you to know that one of your gifts that I'm seeing is that you make waves. And I'm sure we'll touch into that more, but you make waves.
Interesting. Thank you.
So we have, I think ULTR is next, and then we'll get to Happy Mess.
Oh, cool. Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. This is the first time I've actually been a part of one of these. I want to say I appreciate you all very much. You sound like very much like-minded individuals like myself. But I would really like to hear a reading from Lauren if you guys mind. You've been doing such a good job.
I would love to. I'm having kind of a hard time hearing you, and I need to hear your voice because I can I connect to you by hearing the frequency of your voice. So if you're using like a mic or something, if you can kind of.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, so much better. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for unmasking from the.
Yeah, I had headphones on.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No worries. So yeah, just talk with me for a minute, and then I'll just kind of pick stuff up. So how's it going today?
Pretty well. Over this past month, I was moving into a new house, and not that I wasn't happy about the move, but there were some mixed feelings about dealing with future plans that I had in place, and those I kind of had to put those on the back burner to sacrifice for the now, which is, if anyone's into quantum mechanics, everything is happening all at the same time. So I kind of had to look at it from that perspective where, this sacrifice I'm making now is probably more better for the future rather than what I was doing. So I just needed some clarification.
Yeah. So I'm seeing there's a split of opinion between you and a partner. Okay. There was like a split decision between you and your partner. But you were very good about it. You kind of took some time and you didn't react to anything, even if there were emotions. And you kind of just took a breath and you just kind of allowed yourself to kind of, like it's almost like you shape-shifted between your shoes, their shoes, and then kind of like in the other spaces in between, like you took a full circle around the situation to try to come up with the best decision for the highest good. And I do believe that you made the right decision for your highest good. And I want to acknowledge that for you. And I ask you to remove any fear around that. And with you, I keep seeing a white owl. I don't know what that means at all, but I see a white owl. So you're very wise. You're a very wise person, and you're very kind-hearted and you're passionate. So with you too, you look at other people and you try to do what's best for everyone.
I really do.
But don't forget about yourself and all of that. Because I see sometimes it's almost like you want to take the sacrifice in a sense. Like you want to take the sacrifice for everybody else, and you have such a kind spirit. And I think it's really important for you specifically to know that you have these really great ideas. And I think what's great about you is that is your heart. So you have these wonderful, great genius ideas, but you're very compassionate at the same time. And so with your ideas, don't hold back from your ideas. Don't make a sacrifice that prevents you from going after those ideas, because your ideas will help the masses.
Oh, wow. That helps so tremendously. You have no idea. And that makes sense. because I've always been raised to treat people like how I want to be treated. And a lot of times I'll get clouded in judgment based on how I want to treat people, even though I might not be reciprocated what I'm giving out. So that makes a lot of sense, and that resonated with me very heavily. So I really, really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. And I just want to give you a little bit of guidance that you can, as a tool to use in the future. So for you specifically, you already have that heart. You already have that love within your heart. And so to eliminate any type of confusion, don't rely on outside word only.
Okay.
Don't rely on outside word. I want you to attach the feeling that you get with your heart to the scenario. And I want you to kind of acknowledge and identify how you're like you ever been in a room where people were talking and you just kind of felt like real uptight?
Yes. Either
Okay.
that or everyone stopped talking because I've entered the room, and I guess they feed off my frequency.
There you go. I love that. Yeah. So if you're in a situation and you're trying to make a decision, you're feeling very uptight about it.
Okay.
That's not typically going to be for you, right? But if you have a feeling that it feels really good, or like you just feel very motivated towards something, then that's the route that you need to take. But if you start to get that tightness, that's not for you.
Okay. That makes sense, because I've always been the type that I would stew on things instead of saying how I feel. And over the past, probably about 3 years, because I had an awakening experience around 2012. But from then on, I've just been accumulating as much information as I could. And then over the last 3 years, I've just kind of like said, the hell with how people think about me and what they feel. They're going to feel how they feel regardless. So I'm going to say whatever comes to my mind. I'm not going to stew on it anymore. I'm not going to worry about how it affects people. I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, and I think with you specifically, I think that's okay, as long as you stay in that frequency of love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I see you're very elevated when it comes to that. And I also just want to acknowledge for the room too, with this, my guidance for him is a direct result of the frequency that I have gotten off of him. So for him specifically, because I feel like there's somebody in this room right now that is thinking like, don't rely on outside word. And I think I just want to clarify that the message with him is to attach to that frequency of love. So if you're, whoever the person is that I'm picking up on in the room right now, that is questioning their intuition, and there's a decision that they're trying to make, whoever you are, just ask yourself, is this situation, am I feeling recluse? Am I tightening up? Like, am I getting anxious over it? Or is it more of a feeling of like, I'm a little nervous for leaving my comfort zone, but it's love, right? So I just wanted to clarify that real quick.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate that. And I followed you as well as other people on this particular space. And I will probably be reaching out to you sometime soon for continued consultation for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good night, rather.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Jordan. Happiness is next.
Hey everyone, good evening. There's like this funny meme, I don't know if you guys have seen going around. It's talking about like how when did social anxiety start, and it started when you go around the class and the teacher says that you're going to be your turn next. Does anyone else get that? I hope. Anyways, I'm really new to Twitter and all of this, and I'm kind of putting myself out there, and I've been just kind of seeking for some answers. So I stumbled my way in this room tonight. So just
it's the light beacon, and I got this very strongly with you immediately, and then you can ask your question, because it's like my spirit is like, tell her, and I'm like, okay, I'm telling her. Sorry. So I saw like this woman with long red hair, and she's in this old like green dress. It kind of feels like medieval almost, like medieval times. I believe that she's associated with either like a Norse goddess, or it starts with a C, like I'm sensing C, and I don't know what that means to you, but I just had to get that out because they were just like, whoa. But keep going with your question. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. No, I don't even know what my specific question is, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's just interesting. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Do you get any vibes off of me, or I've just been looking for some direction, I guess.
So the first thing that I see is first your energy feels very, it's very calming. It's almost like your energy has a way of like it reminds me of like a beautiful snowy forest. And what I love about that is that the great thing about the snow is it blocks out the noise from the outside world, and it gives you this sense of peace and calm. And I see you standing there, and you're wearing like this I don't know what you call it. It's like red what is it? The Red Riding Hood. That's it. Yeah, it's like that, but with like it's brown. It's got a hood on it, and then you have this brown glove on, and you have this owl sitting on the brown glove, and you're like consulting with this owl, and I don't know exactly what that means yet, but I feel very drawn to you for some reason. So I do feel as though you and I are going to be speaking at some point soon. But what's interesting to me is that I also just signed up for Twitter, and here I am talking to all of you. So I think for you it's follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. Your intuition led you here, and I don't know exactly what it is with you yet, but I see you're kind of like in this like sense of like awakening in a sense. Like you're going through your awakening right now, and you're kind of in that like beautiful space of like exploration.
Which is terrifying.
Yes, but you've done such a great job releasing limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm. And well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you've done such a beautiful, very graceful and elegant job with just recognizing. I think you've really balanced identifying. The reference that they're telling me is look at you from 5 years ago and look at you today, and how much have you grown in your spirit, and how much have you?
Goosebumps. That's funny. That's just the timing. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have goosebumps too. So it's your evolution is absolutely beautiful, and you've done such a great job, and I just want to acknowledge that you've done such a great job with detaching from situations and people and spaces that didn't serve you, and you've allowed your intuition to guide you, and you've done a great job with following the right frequency of peace in that flow state, which to me tells me that you've done a great job with staying present, right? Like, a lot of times when we start to get, when we get really anxious and like we get these racing thoughts, a lot of times we're focused on the future. It's future, right? And when we start to get saddened or depressed, a lot of times we're living in the past, right? But when we have that sense of calm, which is what I'm getting off of you, is we're staying present in the future, and we're allowing ourselves to open our eyes to the beauty that surrounds us. And I really want to commend you on that. That's a very difficult space for people to reach, and you're there. And you're about to, what I'm seeing is that your mind's about to be blown with something. And I don't know what that is, but it's something, so.
Yeah, hopefully good things. I'm what you're saying about peace is I like to play on words, so I like to try to find a piece of peace. So I don't know if anyone else the spelling there, but anyways, thank you so much for all of your wisdom and insights.
That was cute.
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. And message me. I feel like there's a reason for it. So I feel like I'm guided to tell you specifically to message me.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have some hands up here. I think Brad is next. Brad has been waiting for a while. So what's up, Brad?
Not much, and thank you. Happy mess with the last description with the cloak and the owl on a seeker of truth is what I saw. Just want to throw that out there. Sorry.
No, say that again. What did you see? You saw the cloak and what?
The cloak with the owl on the hand, speaker of truth. Or seeker. I'm not speaker, but seeker of truth.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
I like that.
Yes, that was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that was great.
I myself have been through, rough time, much like us all, I'm sure. I try and hold a lot of my own things to myself, but I take joy in helping people with their own discomforts and try and give honest opinions to the best of my knowledge through what I feel from them. I don't consider myself any kind of specialist or anything like that, but I do put forth and feel the vibe from people. And most of the time I can actually kind of pick up where they're coming from before they even know what they're trying to say. So...
Yeah, and I want to, so I'm no expert or specialist. One of the things that Jesus told me in spirit was that he doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called, and you, my friend, are called. So I want to put that out there. The other thing that I see with you is I see like a monk, and he's in prayer, and he's like levitating. He's like levitating, and then around you I see like this wind that's going around you in a circle, like a vortex almost around you, and you're kind of bobbing up and down within the space. It's like you're elevating above the vortex and you're kind of going within it.
Questioning, yeah.
So, but where I see your mind is free, and where this light comes in, because it's like that vortex is like I think it's your thoughts, like these thoughts that kind of go around, but then you center. Like you get these thoughts again, and then you center. And there's something that causes you to go into that space of like that vortex space for a little bit. But I believe that you know what that is, and once you release that, you'll be in you'll be in that space of just complete, like you're like right there. And you are awakened, so don't doubt it. You're a very, very enlightened being, so don't doubt that. But trust you shared that you have these experiences with others, and you're able to get confirmation in those experiences. So trust that and have confidence in your abilities, and just keep going. Seeker of truth, right? Well, you are truth. What you know is truth, so don't doubt it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, so let's go to V. She's got her hand up. V, are you there?
Yeah, thank you so much for holding this space, and also to the speakers, thank you. And Lauren, thank you so much. I just wanted to just share that I really am deeply involved in spirituality, and it's always helped me get through so much and so many things. But I mean, I've always been interested in psychic readings. I've always been. And I don't know if Lauren or if you could, but do you sense a vibe or anything, like how pure happiness acts? Like, do you sense a vibe or anything?
Oh, with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I see with you. You have these beautiful gifts, and you've done the work, right? And I see you where you're kind of like, you're higher. It's so interesting how they show me pictures, but it's like I see your higher self, and you're like in this box, and you're trying to push through the roof because you have access to push through that ceiling. But it's like there's something from like childhood possibly that is preventing you from going into that space. And I believe that space is your psychic abilities, that you do have psychic abilities, but there's some type of attachment to a belief that was presented to you when you were younger that was told as truth. And I think that, but your natural intuition has kind of guided you to kind of be intrigued by having the ability to see. Well, I want you to know that I'm removing that veil from you right now. You have full-fledged, have the ability to see. And what I'd like to ask you to do is, in your mind at this very moment, I want you to visualize a field. And let me know when you see it.
I see it.
Okay. Now I want you to visualize me in that field.
I see you.
What am I wearing? And trust that you cannot be wrong. Whatever you say is accurate, and this is a very safe place.
I see a navy blue tank top, bootcut jeans, shades, hair in a half ponytail style.
So I'm going to send you a picture in a few moments, but I'm literally wearing a blue tank top, and I have my hair in a half ponytail. And that to me just told me that you just remote viewed into me, and I will be able to personally message you that and confirm that for you. So don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself.
That, oh my God, Lauren. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for
that's so like, oh my God. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This space.
Yeah.
So I would like to get to Gem Girl, but first, Tillard has been waiting too. So Tillard, do you have anything you want to ask?
Hey, thanks, Goddess, and thanks, Lauren, for sharing your story. And kind of, yeah, like people have said, just your vulnerability and, just inspiring just your strength and your courage and just the love. So thank you so much. And thanks to the speakers. Nicole, there's, a few things that kind of resonated with me too at the beginning of what kind of came through. So thank you for sharing and that was really beautiful. So once again, thank you, Lauren, for everything. Just a question, and thank you for the past readings, Lauren, that you've given me, within the last week or so. I'm really, really appreciative and grateful. I've had a few dreams lately, and it's been kind of it's not often where I remember the dreams, and so lately I've been remembering dreams that I've had, and I've had a couple dreams about my dad, and I'm wondering if anything's kind of coming through in regards to my dad.
So I see a man, and he's walking through this forest, but it's not a normal forest. It's like very like there's so many like leaves and vines and everything, and he has to like hack his way through it. And so that tells me that he had a lot of things that binded him, and he tried to face these things. And I don't really know if this man is you or if it's your father. And I'm starting now, as I talk, I'm starting to see that this man might actually be you in relation to your father. Like your father is this like, it's like this jungle. It's this jungle that you're hacking your way through, and you're not giving up. You're not allowing the circumstance to prevent you from getting through. So it's like you have these questions in regards to his exit, if I'm reading this correctly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You have a ton of questions in regards to that. And it's almost like, it's such a strange feeling, because it's like part of you is like, almost like you wanted to prove something to yourself. But then it's like there's a small part of you that also, it's like you kind of wonder if it would have made him proud or how he would have like reacted. But it's like there's a little bit of bent up like frustration there a lot, with that space, and so it's like you juggle it, you go back and forth with that to see if it's even like worth value. But if it comes up, it's definitely worth value. So I want to acknowledge that. You have what Spirit is literally saying in my ear right now. You beat the odds. You beat the odds. You've taken a situation that would have put so many people on their ass, and you chose to look at it with a lens of light. And maybe some days you had some dark days. It happens to us, right? But you always rose, and you continue to rise, and as a result of that, you've been able to accomplish things that you didn't allow the circumstance to prevent you from achieving where you're at right now. And I think that that's something to be said about your character. Because character is not how we are when we're in our finest moments. Our character is built when we're hacking through this jungle. And you continue to hack through that jungle and just find your peace and find your truth, and you've always just had this sense of grace and gentleness with you, and you didn't allow the things that could have easily hardened you to weigh you down. You kind of saw past them. So in regards to your father, I see that the things that binded him are the things that binded him. They are not things that bind you. And so don't accept them as things that bind you, because you have completely elevated, and you are in this state of like momentum right now. It's almost like I see you as a child, and I see a letter that says, "Dear Dad," and you're like writing this long letter. And then in retrospect, like I see him, and he's reading this letter, and he's like, he's crying, and he's like saying, "I'm sorry." Like he says, "Thank you so much." And he's saying he's sorry for like the things that he did. He didn't understand what he was doing at the time. He said he was under so much stress, and just like the world was just like caving in, and he was just under so much stress that he didn't realize the seeds that he was planting into you. And I don't even know why this is making me emotional, but it's just what it feels like. He didn't realize that he was planting these seeds inside of you, and he didn't realize they were going to grow into these weeds. And he wishes that he could have like just taken them out and just never would have done that. He said he would have done it so different. But he's like so proud of who you are and who you've become. And he just really wants to acknowledge that he's so proud of you, and he's so sorry for planting those seeds.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Lauren. Yeah, that kind of brought me to tears too, and I just really felt I felt a shift in the pit of my stomach. So yeah, I'm so grateful for you, Lauren, and
of course, thank you.
I really appreciate everything and your time and energy. So thank you.
Of course, thank you.
How
Okay.
are you feeling? How are you feeling, Lauren? How are you doing, girl? How's your energy level?
But I love you guys. Bum is like my warrior queen. I freaking love her. She's so in tune to my energy. Like it's insane. Like Bum just like she's like so tuned in. And she doesn't really share that a lot, but she is like she's so like she just knows. She knows and she knows. I'm good. My head's kind of like vibrating a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's a bad thing. And I feel wide awake, and I feel like I'm trucking through this mission, and I just absolutely love you so much, Bum. You're amazing.
Right back at you.
So you're able to go a little bit longer here, Lauren, then?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, Gem Girl had her hand up before.
Hello.
Hi, do you have any questions or anything?
Hey, Lauren. Yeah, I'm new here. I just wanted to say hello to everyone, and I'm in South Carolina as well. I just had some questions about just seeking clarity, and I wanted to know if would you be able to pick up a message from my spirit guides or ancestors, or I speak to them regularly, and my guardian angels. So I just wanted to know if they had a message for me. As far as I've had a couple of tower moments lately, and I'm still new to the whole awakening and ascension. I feel like I've made a lot of progress, but I'm still learning, and so
No, I think
I
yeah.
just feel lost. I feel stuck at times. So I just my grandmother has came to me through a medium, and she expressed to me that she was my guardian angel. So that brought a lot of peace to me. But I'm just like still just feel lost and stuck a lot of times. And like the situation with my car, I was driving for Lyft, and my engine totally went out. So I was just like, what is this? What is going on? But I did realize, maybe it had to happen, So
yeah.
but it kind of it just got me out of my comfort zone so much. And
so I'm getting a few things with you. The first thing that I saw was that, and it's ironic your name is Jem, because the first thing that I saw was you holding this beautiful, big diamond. It's like you had been almost like you were mining, but you were mining in the dirt. You weren't mining you're mining in this earth that's kind of been turned over a little bit, and it's very soft ground, and you find this beautiful diamond, and you're like, well, how did somebody miss this diamond? You can tell that the earth has been someone had just gone through with a plow and turned it over to prepare it. And you were like, wow, how did someone miss this? And it's well, they missed it because it wasn't meant for them, it was meant for you. And the next thing I saw was this diamond kind of transformed into this almost like a transparent type of diamond that has a little bit of a purplish tint to it, and it was seeding deep into the earth, deep into the earth, and deep into the core, deep into your core. So it's this gem of truth and wisdom that's going deep within your core, and you're going forward. So it's you've been on this path, and that's kind of where it's confusing, right? Because when we plant a seed, right, we plant a seed in the dark, and we cover it with dirt, right? We're in this dark space, and we plant it. And those that tried to bury us did not know that we were a seed and that we were meant to grow. And so the light shines in, and the wisdom and the knowledge shines in, and then we're watered. And what happens is that our seed starts to grow, and it starts to blossom into this beautiful, whatever it's meant to be, it's what it blossoms to, right? And that's what I see is happening with you. So keep digging and keep blossoming and keep turning within, because you are on the right path. I do see that there was some type of incident with you that happened, maybe 10 years ago or so, where you saw something and it changed you. It was very scary for you. It's almost I see these men or something coming out of this. I don't know what it means, if it's metaphoric or not, but it's
I went through that's when I separated from my husband, and I left. I got my own apartment, and
10 years ago.
10 years ago, I took the kids and I left. He stayed in the house, and
it was scary for you because you kind of felt like you were under attack in a sense.
It was very scary.
You felt like you were under attack, and but you knew that it was the best thing for you. You knew it with every ounce of your being that it was the best thing for you. But then you got to that space, right? And when you got there, it's that was your safe space. You were safe from that situation. But then you kind of just you didn't really know where to go from there, because you kind of had some fear of the outside world, and you finally found this safe space. And so you didn't want to lose that safe space. And I love that you're in here in this space right now, that you had the courage to come up, because I'm here to tell you today, you are safe and you are divinely protect it. So I'm going to give you a quote, and I want you to write it down, and I want you to read it and apply it every single day.
Okay.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay?
Have pen and paper.
All right. I want you to write this down, okay?
Okay.
Do one thing every day that scares you. And the reason I say that is because with you, you're meant to explore. You've stayed in this safe space because it's comfortable, but you're meant for something magnificent. But the only way that you're going to, and you're, like I said, you know, if we go back to the labyrinth of your journey, you're going inward and sowing that seed deep into your core. You're on the right path. Now, what you need to do now is continue to follow the intuition, but when your spirit, when your gut says to you, go walk into this store or go talk to that person, they're going to guide you through it. Just trust and release the fear around that.
Okay.
Okay, and just if it's like your gut is, if your intuition is pulling you towards something, but then you feel like your rational mind is kind of like, oh God, no, like what if they do that? If you find yourself like kind of like in that what if mind frame, but your gut was like pulling you to something, then go for it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like a challenge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do that more, you're going to basically, I don't know why I'm going to say this, but break the yoke. I don't know what that means, but that just came to me. You're going to break the yoke as you do that.
Okay. Okay, I received that.
Do you mind if I ask something real quick?
Sure.
We have a lot of people to get to here, so
It'll be real quick. It'll be real quick. I'm sorry. To the last question, how are you sleeping?
Me?
No. I can't pronounce this. Jim girl. How are you sleeping?
I'm sleeping pretty good now.
Okay. On nights where you're not able to sleep, amethyst. What Lauren was saying about the purple going into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can't find a piece of amethyst and put it in your pillowcase.
Okay, write that down too.
No, you don't have to write it down. I'm just saying. I mean, this could help you go into a deeper sleep, which would help ease.
And so, and I think that's good advice, but I do want to just kind of add to that. So thank you for sharing that. Do what your gut guides you to do, because the whole point of going within is to follow your path. So if your path and your gut tells you to go and put this thing in your pillow and sleep with it because it's going to make you feel good, if that's what your gut is like, makes you, if the advice makes you feel good in your gut, then go for it. If it doesn't, then maybe it was meant for somebody else in this room, right? Because he did intuitively pick that up, right? He intuitively picked that up, but I feel like that was not for you. He picked that up for someone else in this room. And so that's why I wanted to just really speak to
Very well could be. Sorry.
Yes. No, don't be sorry, because that was meant for somebody. So trust it, Brad. I thank you so much for sharing your insight. But I think if there's one message that is the most important for every single person here today, it's to walk your path, trust your gut, and that there's going to be so many people that give us advice. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the advice is not meant for us, right? If our gut feeling attaches to it and it feels good, then it is meant for us. So Brad, I just want to thank you so much for speaking and having that courage, because I promise you that was for somebody here. I guarantee you somebody needed that. Somebody in this room is not sleeping and they needed that, and that resonated with them. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got Tarot Philosophia next.
Hi. Hi.
great listening in. Thank you for it all.
Of course. Pleasure. Did you have like a question, or you just want me to kind of like cold read, or?
I didn't come up with a question off the top. I haven't come up with a question. What would work for you best?
Well, just right now. So when you guys come up and talk, I just kind of close my eyes and I just kind of attach to like your energy vibrations of your voice, of the sound.
I'm feeling like I should just be talking to give you something to work with.
Yeah, like
but I'm like, I don't know what to say.
No, you're fine. So right when you started speaking, I saw like a cowgirl with a lasso, and she's like got this lasso in the air, like she's getting ready to like lasso something. But then I saw this old, like, I don't even know what this place is, but it's beautiful. It's like this, it feels like I don't even know why I'm saying this, but it feels like a very sacred mountain. And it's like almost like it's been covered up and concealed for ages, and everybody forgot about this like mountain. I am so glad that you came up, because this is so amazing and intriguing and beautiful.
I feel like a forgotten gem sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
If I don't show up, I kind of fade away from people's thoughts, maybe.
So what's fascinating about this mountain, though, is that it's like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like, it has its own little like natural ecosystem that has allowed it to thrive within itself. And I see where it's like almost, it's like the covering that was above it is being removed. The covering above this mountain is being removed, and it's like now it's like shining like this like pristine palace. So it had this pristine, like beautiful palace that looks like an overgrown mountain. So it was like don't judge a book by its cover kind of thing, right? So it's like this pristine, beautiful, like my palace that is under this overgrown mountain, and when that top layering is removed, it shines like this pristine palace. So what that tells me for you is release fear of judgment. You have a lot of great gifts, and you help a lot of people with your gifts, and that's what you're meant to do. And you're very intuitive, and you're very tapped in. But then it's like sometimes you hold back on what you want to say because you're worried about how they may react to it, because you've interacted with a few people that your body kind of told you, like, don't read this person, or this doesn't feel right. Like, you know what I mean? And you kind of just went with it, and you kind of started to doubt yourself on certain things because they didn't react in the right way. And the reason why they didn't react is because it almost like felt like it was a forced thing in a sense, like you weren't meant to, they weren't open. They weren't open. But what I'm seeing is that it was more of a lesson for you to just, there's gonna be people that you come across that are not meant for the message. And I've had that same experience. I've had readings of people and they were so closed off and I was reading so many things, and I've actually kind of uncovered later, like, oh my gosh, I was so spot on, so they just couldn't see it, right? So
right,
yeah.
My reading was accurate. I can see that like a month later.
Yes, exactly. So trust your flow state. Get into your flow state and just trust it and allow it to guide you. And trust everything that you get. Everything that you get is meant for something, even not at that very moment in time. Like for me, I get these prophecies and I write them down and I date them and I timestamp them, and they always circulate back later. Or I get these pictures and I have like hundreds of pages of just random ass drawings that if somebody saw them, they'd be like, this lady's a nut. But I know I'm not a nut, right? But I know that they're meant for later. And then they always circulate back. So with you, it may not be meant at that very moment, but it will circulate back. So trust your gut, trust your instinct. Don't, don't worry about if somebody is going to be judging, because when that happens, you kind of attach to that frequency, and then you you kind of withhold the things that you're seeing, and then you don't get the result exactly like you want it. You kind of get like a mediocre result, and you feel it in your gut. You feel it. Like you feel it in your frequency. So just unleash, girl. Just like unleash, remove that top layer, and just, don't throttle. Forge ahead.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah, very high vibrational reading tonight.
Thank you.
So we're gonna wrap it up soon, but we can probably take one or two more. So Jesse is next.
Hi, thank you so much, and hello everybody. I just wanted to jump on and say hello, and the vibrations in here are amazing. I don't know, a question that just stuck out for me to just say to you is, tell me what I need to hear, but I'm also kind of scared.
Well, I want to commend you so much for facing that fear. Because that's kind of what gets us out of like this infinite loop, and that's kind of how we get our next little treasure piece, like our treasure map. The more we conquer our fear towards things that we're intuitively guided to, the more we're able to get more pieces of our puzzle, of our inner labyrinth that we're following, this path within, right? So Jesse, just give me, just kind of talk to me for a minute, because I'm trying to connect to your voice and your energy so I can start to see.
Definitely, yeah. Okay.
What did you have for breakfast today?
So the first thing that I just saw was that you are a seer. You can see like I can see.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a seer. You can see like I can see. Let's see what's going on. You're fascinating. Oh goodness, this is so cool. Like I love it. This is awesome. I've never seen anything like it. I love it. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I'm just kind of traveling in within this. I'm just trying to understand what I'm seeing. Okay, I also see that you have a crown, which to me that's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. You have a crown. You have a lot of divine protection. And I'm going to tell you something that was said to me once. Because that's what I'm getting. Like you have the ability to see within the darkness, but the darkness cannot see you. So I think that's really important. The darkness cannot see you, which means that the darkness does not know you're there. So do not attach any type of fear to the darkness, because you're the light in the darkness. You can see in the darkness. Does that make sense to you?
Wow, that makes a lot of sense to me. Holy, wow.
So yeah, your abilities are very similar to mine from what I'm seeing, and you've done a lot of work. And so continue that work, and just know that you are so divinely protected that nothing dark can get to you. You're meant to see through the dark to help guide people through to their light.
Oh, gosh, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me, and I'm so glad that I came up, and you're amazing.
It was an honor. Thank you for having that courage.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Can we take just one more and then we'll move on? I know we have a lot of people requesting, but it's just going to be impossible to get to everybody tonight. We've been going for 3 hours, and it's almost time to wrap it up. So I apologize if we can't get to everybody, but there's Courtney is here.
Hi, everyone. My name's Courtney, and I can just tell you that the Holy Spirit was the one that made me push the button to talk, because it's not something I'm normally very comfortable with. Although I've been really trying my hardest the last couple years to find my voice, it's just something that I've just struggled with my whole life. Being an empath, being a Pisces, talk about emotion overload.
Yeah, thank you so much for having the courage to speak. And I don't know how long everyone's been on here, but just in case you didn't hear it earlier, I'm led by Holy Spirit. I ask Holy Spirit every single day to use me as his instrument and to light my path. The first
Same
thing
here.
So that's awesome. That's amazing, because it's like the best. And it's so, it's very ironic that you say that you're kind of facing your fear and you just kind of felt pulled. You felt led to come and speak up and speak with me. And I love that, like, it's towards the end too, because it's almost like it's like my mission, like you're tying to my mission of working with Holy Spirit. And
Definitely.
I love that. And so with you, the first thing that I saw was a lighthouse, right? But it's almost like this lighthouse is, it's almost like only the tip of it where the light is out, but the rest of it's underwater. And so what I'm being led to tell you is that the water is receding. You just need a mustard seed of faith. The water is receding, and you're here for a reason. He is a way maker, and you know that. And you are completely surrounded with a divine ring of fire with your intuition, and you are absolutely here for a reason. The other thing that I'm being led to share with you is this. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future.
Wow. Well, first off, I spent the first 13 years of my life in North Carolina, which, as I'm sure you are aware, has a lot of lighthouses. And I collected ceramic lighthouses for years. So the fact that you said that, oh my gosh.
That's confirmation too, and for you, because it's like you. What I love about this particular, what I love about you, is that you spoke your truth, and you are open to speaking with me. And some people may call me a psychic, and a lot of people in certain religious aspects steer away from that. They're terrified of it. They think it's the devil. Oh no, it's not the devil. So I think it's so beautiful, because it's like I led with you with want to share the whole. I ask Holy Spirit every day to work through me and to use me as his instrument. And the first vision that he gave me is something that ties to your hometown and something that you collected. Which is confirmation.
He loves to give us those great confirmations, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And I think that it's very important for you to know, because it's almost like you've kind of felt like you were drowning for some time. And it reminds me of Paul and his thorn. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. So Paul had this thorn, and he went to Holy Spirit 3 different times, or many times throughout his life, these periods. And he was like, Lord, just take this thorn away from me. Take this thorn away from me, right? And he, like, nobody really understood, like, why he had this thorn. He didn't understand why he had this thorn. But what I personally believe is that thorn was there to kind of like check his ego in a sense, and just to kind of keep him humble with the situation, and to kind of trust. And so a lot of times we have these situations that are kind of like a thorn that are a pain in our side, and it can be really frustrating. And we take these prayers to or meditations, or whatever word resonates with anybody in this room, right? We take these things to find truth and find wisdom. And what I'm seeing is that it's not our timeline, it's his, right? It's his timeline. And you are about to, you've been under this water for such a period. You had a season of water, but now the water is receding into a new season for you. And I see a lot of sunshine. I see a lot of sunshine. So just
that was my nickname from high school.
Sunshine? Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So he's shining that light on you, and it's very, very, very soon that you're going to start to experience these things in the physical realm, if you're not already.
Most definitely.
He had to move a few things around. So.
Oh, no doubt about it. My life has done a 180 in the last 12 months alone.
I love that. I love that. So it's like the light has come through and led you through the darkness. Light in the darkness, way maker, miracle worker, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Okay, well, with that said, I guess we'll start to wrap it up. Lauren, I know you're writing a book and you made an intro, and I was thinking we can wrap it up with what you got so far.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Avagares. Yeah, you guys, so Holy Spirit told me over the summer that I was to start writing a book and write a page a day. And it's not like something that I force, it's just something that I continue to write in as I'm led to. And I felt that it was very important to share this message, this intro with you guys and kind of leave you with this. So I'm just going to read the intro to you guys real quick. So we are all the creators of our own infinity. It took me 30 plus years to truly understand this. Prior to, I was lost on the wave of life, or so I thought. The truth of the matter is that we are all searching for that one thing that sets our spirit free. The one thing that allows us to learn the dance of the infinite, the thing that finally allows us to get out of the driver's seat and to expect the abundance that waits for us at every open door. We just need the courage to open it, release control, and walk into the land of the unknown. We are all connected. As we learn to shift our perception to see ourselves as well as others from this view, we quickly see that the stories, experiences, and challenges, as well as the behaviors we portray, are mostly masked fears with quick spurts of confidence in between. We learn that everyone we will ever meet or have met is fighting for something, through something, or both. The only thing that holds us all back from the micro moments, experiences, dreams, and glory that is our God-given birthright is the fear created within our own mind, the limiting belief. As we learn this, we start to shift out of false narratives created throughout our lives that we have attached ourselves to, making us believe that we are undeserving of great things. This is false. Think about a time in your life when you were living in complete glory, the summit of the mountain. These moments are incredible, and yet they are simply that. They're just moments interwoven between climbs of the mountain. What if we have the ability to change that? What if we were never meant to experience so much resistance on these climbs of the mountain? What if we are meant to move throughout the valley between the mountains so that the journey propels us through greatness, moment by moment? What if we all have a sixth sense that allows us to follow the yellow brick road of possibilities, guiding and leading us through every decision? What if we are all quite magnificent and have the ability to create the life of our dreams or greater? Now, don't get me wrong, it's not always simple and easy. However, it will fill your spirit in ways you never knew were possible. It will bring a sense of peace and joy to your life that allows you to feel safe throughout the storm. What is it, you ask? The ability to tap and tune into a source of infinite knowledge, wisdom, and answers that ensure you are steering your ship in the right direction. The Holy Grail. The answers you've always wanted to know, the walk with the infinite, and the roadmap of abundance. Your own personal treasure map. If you are hearing this right now, consider this divine intervention. Acknowledge that at this very moment, you are at the right place at the right time, and you are about to uncover the keys to your destiny.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thanks a lot, Lauren. And thanks a lot for joining us tonight and doing this for people. I think we'll have to do it again someday soon because there's been a lot of demand and there's even more people are requesting out to do this. So I think that, we do this every Sunday and sometimes on Wednesday evenings. So feel free to join us and we'll try and get it around to more people. So any last words, Cosmic, Ron, Lauren?
Yeah, I'm totally down to do this whenever. It's like I've always said, it's part of my mission. So you guys just let me know. I'm totally down if you want to have a dedicated reading thing where we can kind of help people. I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, I like that idea. And just Lauren, you're a gift. Thanks for coming and doing this. We do these shows every Sunday, so we'll definitely set up more times to do and talk with you more.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited for our little one-on-one together, and excited to do Maharishi Mondays with you guys tomorrow too.
Oh yeah, that's actually, I really want to speak to that, Cosmic. Thank you so much. So I don't know the technical word for it, but what Cosmic was just speaking about was it's like a group meditation. So essentially, we all have the ability to create our reality with our thoughts. And by us praying together or meditating together and visualizing together, it allows us to kind of help, and you can do it on like a world stage, right? So we can visualize, something that we all feel very passionate about, and we can all kind of visualize that together, like a guided type of visualization where we are all kind of visualizing this thing together. And as a direct result of that, I'm 100% confident that with all of that energy and frequency all in one space, it will help to manifest something that is for the greater good of all. So I think that that's absolutely beautiful what you're doing, Cosmic, and thank you so much for creating a space for that.
Yeah, I'm honored to be a part of that with you guys. We're going to be creating this movement. We're the revolution.
Yeah, go follow.
That's right. We are the Remnant Army.
Exactly.
Remnant
go follow
Army,
Cosmic
sure.
and the Twitter page there for Maharishi Mondays.
The meditation is every Monday, I believe, at 11 a.m. and p.m., right?
Yes. And it doesn't have to take a long time. Just tuning your spirit in genuinely and visualizing the highest good taking place. Just you can visualize little tidbits of things like, people earthing barefoot, like Lauren was talking about earlier. You can visualize kids spending more time out in nature without masks on. You can visualize world leaders, just like the spell coming off of them, and all of a sudden they're like